Hey everyone. So, we're living in some strange times, aren't we? And I know that there's a lot of fear and uncertainty in the world right now. And a few days ago, I posted on Facebook asking everyone how they were feeling. Um, I have some friends and colleagues who are not doing so well, and I thought I just wanted to, do a general check in on everyone as well. And um, I was really happy to find that so many people were doing well. In fact, they were doing great, while others, sadly, they're not doing so well. And I think, it really depends on where we are, what our circumstances are, how strict our lockdowns are as well. So I can understand why some people are struggling and not doing so well, or just doing okay. Um, but what was really interesting was that those people who were feeling great, I was curious about what is it that they were doing to keep themselves in that high vibe state. And personally, I've been doing pretty good myself. And I have a few things that I do, so I'll share them at the end of the video. But I was curious, what were my friends doing? Those who were feeling good, who were reaching out and saying that, hey, I'm feeling great. So I just made a list of all of their responses, and I thought that I'll make this video and I'll compile all of them and I'll share them with you. So the first one, Jamie, she says these are her tips for feeling great, right? Exercise, sunshine, find ways to stay productive or creative, meditate, and quit the news. So these things have been really helpful for her. Agnieszka, she says that she focuses on the here and now without dwelling on worst case scenarios. And I think that's such a good tip, because so many people tend to think about like the what ifs, what's the worst that can happen and how that's going to affect me. And instead of using that to sort of empower them, they use it to, they just like fall into a spiral of negative emotions. So it definitely would help to focus on the here and now, I think. Cher said to keep calm, plan your daily routine, and keep at it. And I really agree with her about the routine, and I'll share more on that later. Stella says that she is finding the joy in all the little things that she can now enjoy that she didn't have access to a while back. So she's constantly being on the road in Africa, and now she is quarantined in an apartment in Germany. So I think Germany. So, she's got an apartment. She's got all the modern conveniences that she never had when she was on the road all the time, and she's just full of gratitude for everything that she now enjoys, which is something she didn't have before, which makes her life so much easier in many ways, even though she's stuck inside. Um, you know, she also has been taking action and making sure that people that she cares about are taken care of. She has an organization that takes care of kids in Uganda, and she sprung into action because they went into lockdown, and she wanted to make sure that they got fed during the lockdown. So I think taking that role of empowerment and leadership can really do a lot of good to our mental health as well, when we feel like we are in power and not just like a victim of our circumstances. So I think that's amazing. Elaine, my beautiful sister-in-law, she has these tips for us. She says that she does daily exercise outdoors. I think she has like a little backyard in her house. She does daily 30 minutes meditation and regular yoga. Healthy diet most of the time with loads of fruits and veggies. She doesn't watch the news too often. She speaks with friends and family often, and she reads positive, inspiring books or social media content. I think that's an amazing routine over there, and that's definitely a recipe for feeling good and for staying positive and in high vibration. I think that there's a lot of gold in there. My friend Magdalena, she has a solid yoga practice. According to her, she lives the whole 8 limbs of yoga, not just the asanas. And her biggest secret is gratitude. So she's currently running a free 28 days of gratitude course on Facebook, and I'll drop a link to that below. And that's so, like, being in gratitude is just so powerful, because it shifts us from a low state to a high state, like immediately the moment we shift our mindset. It's just, I mean, I'm sure a lot of us have tried this, and it seems like a very simple thing, but it's so powerful. And yeah, I would really highly recommend that everyone, just takes 5 minutes a day to just have like a gratitude practice and think about all the things that they are grateful for, even during these times, because I bet you that there are plenty of things. The last one from Naomi, she says that we should drop into being more than doing and go internally. It's amazing. When in your body or heart, not in your head, start to listen and honor your own feminine essence and ask yourself what you truly feel. And I think that is so cool, because many of us, we just kind of get stuck in our heads, and then our heads control our emotions, right? So we get stuck in worry, and then worry makes us feel really horrible and anxious. So let's just like get out of our heads and let's drop into our bodies. And what we are feeling is completely valid. Like, it's okay to feel scared, it's okay to feel anxious. All of those emotions are feedback to ourselves, right? About what we're going through right now. But we can take control of that, and we can shift those instead of getting stuck in them. And this is such a powerful tip on how to take control. So I just wanted to share all of those tips, because I think that someone out there might find something in this list really useful to help them through these times. And I'd like to share my own personal tips as well, what I've been doing. So when this whole situation first started, in the first week or two, I was feeling really anxious and stressed, because we were trying to figure out where we wanted to be. We had all of our plans, our flights, our accommodations booked. Around this time we were meant to be flying to Singapore, and then we had an onward flight to London, and from there to Portugal. So we had all of these plans, and the first couple of weeks in February, we were trying to figure out what to do, trying to respond to all of these border closures all around the world, and figuring out, do we want to stay in Bali? Do we want to move to Singapore straight away? Like, we just didn't know what was the best option, and we were a little bit stressed trying to figure that out for ourselves. And I think like what really helped was making that decision. And once we knew that we wanted to stay in Bali and that we were going to hunker down, however long it took, in this one place, it really helped to lift that anxiety a little bit. But there was still some like background level, just that anxiousness, right? From the uncertainty, the unknown of this whole situation. So I decided to really double down on my routine and make sure I really stuck to that very strongly. So I want to share with you the things that I really stick to, because I truly believe that they help me stay positive and stay just grounded. So I have a daily routine that I do every single day. And when I wake up in the morning, the very first thing I do, I normally rise before sunrise. So I have like a few, like 20 to 30 minutes. I'm normally awake by 6 o'clock. And so I take the morning to just, sort of relax, like wake up slowly. And then by the time the sun comes up, I'm outside and I'm sun gazing. So I always watch the sunrise every day, as long as it's not blocked by the clouds. So I do that every morning. And then after sun gazing, sun gazing is a form of meditation, but then I follow it with some prayer as well. So I do some of my own personal prayers, and after that I exercise. So I do different things depending on the day. So some days I do yoga, some days I do Tai Chi, Qigong, and other days I just do stretching. So it depends on how I feel. I really honor like how I'm feeling. but I definitely have some form of movement in there all the time. And after that, I sweep my home because I just like to have a clean house. And it's Bali, it's the tropics, and we get insects and all sorts of things. So I just like to clean the home every morning. After that, I start work, and then I take a mid-morning break. I have breakfast, then I go back to work, and then I have a lunch break. So I have like this very fixed routine, and I follow it every single day. And I feel that that really helps to keep me like grounded and fixed instead of just having idle time where my mind is wandering, where I'm just like somewhere else. I'm not here, right? So yeah, this routine is just really, really powerful for me. So expanding on that, I think the sleep aspect is really important. I know that now so many of us are at home, we're not going out, and we don't have a reason to wake up like early in the morning. So like a lot of people are ending up, on their phones up till 3 a.m. in the morning, and that's really not very good for your immune system and your recovery. So sleep is like one of the biggest things that is so undervalued. So I would really, really, encourage people to spend time on their sleep. you know, like don't stay up late at night. So what I do is that I'm usually in bed by 8:30, and I try to be asleep by 9:30 latest on weekdays. And on weekends, I stay up a little bit later. So I normally go to bed, like I'm normally asleep by 9:30 or 10 on the weekends. I really love to get at least 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night, and I just feel like a different person the next morning when I've slept well. And if I haven't slept well, I'm grumpy. And if I haven't slept well in like a few days in a row, I tend to fall sick. So sleep is just really, really important, especially right now where we need to keep our immune system strong. Sleep is one of those things that people don't realize really contributes to their immune systems. So yeah, people get sleep. Make sure you're not staying up till 3 a.m. on Netflix or on Facebook or on whatever. Your sleep and your body and your recovery is so much more important. Eating healthy. So, even though I have I have started adding a few treats into my day, like chocolate. But I try to eat like the healthy chocolate, the ones that are like 80% cacao, so that like the dark chocolates basically. But other than that, I haven't changed my diet much from before the quarantine. I still make sure that I have my morning breakfast is usually a fruit. I have lunch, which is normally a smoothie, and then for dinner I have something from an organic shop, or I cook something at home. So focusing on staying healthy and on eating healthy foods and staying healthy is another way that we can take control back into our lives and not feel like, oh, if we stepped out of the house, and if we came into contact with this virus, we would definitely fall sick and die. Like taking that time to build those habits, to build your health and your immune system, it goes a really, really long way in feeling good in your body and feeling healthy and strong. So definitely, don't take this time as an excuse to drink wine and eat crap all day every day, just because you can. Try not to fall into that pattern, because I bet you like eating bad foods does affect your mind. It does affect how you feel. And so if you're not eating well, you're not going to feel good. There's only so long you can get away with eating bad food. Another thing which I've noticed that a lot of people are staying away from the news. My approach has been slightly different. I definitely have been taking the time to read the news every day now. Before I didn't care so much about the news because I tried not to read. The news is normally full of negative things, right? Sensationalist news. So I used to prefer not to read the news every day, but in these times, I have been taking the time to read the news. Now, the reason why is because I feel like if I'm reading the news and I'm keeping on top of everything that's going on, then I'm using the news as a way to empower myself with knowledge so that I know how to respond to the situation. And this was very helpful for us during the time, like a few weeks ago, where we were trying to decide like where we wanted to be. And we decided that, because of everything that we were reading on the news, we decided we didn't want to be, in Singapore or in London or even in Portugal maybe at this time. They were closing down borders and they were imposing very strict limits, freedom of movement to people. So yeah, I just decided that reading the news was actually a good thing for me at this time. And I'm very careful about, like, I really check in with myself when I'm reading the news. Once I feel like my energy is just becoming, a little bit, like you just feel it, then I stop, right? So I just read as much as I need to read to keep abreast of the situation. And beyond that, I just try not to. So I know everyone has like a different approach to this, but personally, because we are very global, we're travelers, and we think of the world like in a global perspective, reading the news has been quite good for me. So yeah, in this, case, like, do what's right for you, obviously. Also, what I've been doing is I've been reaching out to others. So I've been trying to take that first step in reaching out and taking the initiative, and basically just trying to elevate myself into the growth stage. So there, I can't remember now, like, what there was this meme or whatever I saw online, and they had different stages to responding to this crisis. And the last one of the early stages was like where you are in complaining mode, where you're just only looking at the negative things and you're forwarding everything. And then basically that, when you shift out of that and you keep shifting, you will reach the growth stage. And in the growth stage, you basically, you take initiative, you reach out to others and see how they're feeling, you try and help other people, you take control of your own emotions, you take responsibility for yourself, and you take control, you take leadership. So I've been trying to move into that more, because and it really is very empowering. I feel like if I can help others, it helps me as well. You grow in many ways that you don't realize. So I think that's been really good for me, at least. And the last thing that I've started doing, which has really helped me actually, is that I've taken this opportunity to start new hobbies. So for example, what I started this week was watercolor pencil painting. And I've never done this before. I've always wanted to try watercolor pencil painting, but I never did because I just was busy, distracted, right? Distracted with going out or with whatever. And now that I don't have those distractions anymore, I just wanted to go back to basics. And I kept thinking to myself, what did people used to do? Like, when I was young, we never had phones or technology, right? So what did I used to do? How did I used to spend my time? And I realized that I spent a lot of that time reading. I spent it like playing games, like the old school board games or card games. And so yeah, I just wanted to take this time to just do the things that I normally wouldn't do. So what I've been doing is, like I said, I started watercolor pencil painting. I signed up for some free courses, and I try to go through one a week. I definitely spend at least an hour every day now to just do fun things, right? Do fun things that I usually wouldn't do. So it just changes like my perspective about the situation. Instead of getting wrapped up in feeling that, oh, this is crap, I don't know how long this is going to go on for, when can I get back to my normal life. I'm just looking at it as, oh wow, I have all of this time, I have nowhere to be, nowhere to go, which normally is so unusual for me because we're always thinking of the next place, the next destination, the next flight, the next accommodation. And now we're just here, we're in one place, we have nowhere to be. So yeah, just doing fun things and feeling that groundedness. I don't know if that's even a word, but just appreciating how grounded I feel right now. And yeah, just like I said, just doing fun things. So um, just being grateful, and being able, knowing that I'm in a much better place than a lot of other people are right now, and just being grateful for that. So yeah, guys, I mean, this is such a long video. I'm so sorry. I didn't expect it to go this long, but I just wanted to, just share with you how I'm doing and what are the things that I'm doing to nowadays to feel good. Um, Again, I just want to reiterate that there's nothing wrong with feeling sad or anxious or depressed. If you are, reach out to someone if you're feeling that way, because honestly, sharing makes such a big difference. You share your burden and it makes such a huge difference. And you never know what you might learn from other people on how they are, yeah, on what they are doing, right, to get through this. So yeah, please reach out if you're not feeling good. And take responsibility. Take responsibility to change how you're feeling, instead of just like spiraling downwards. Okay, so yeah, guys, I mean, that's all I have to share for today for this video. Thanks so much for listening to my super long rant. Yeah, and until next time, listen to your heart and live fully. Okay, so I'll see you soon. Bye.